Madam Speaker, there is no challenge that faces Jamaica that God has not endowed us with the strength and wisdom to overcome. Just look at what we have achieved. We have had 10 consecutive quarters of economic growth since the pandemic. Prior to the pandemic, we had 20 consecutive quarters of economic growth. This is the longest unbroken period of economic expansion in the history of Jamaica. More Jamaicans have work today than any other time since independence. Unemployment is at a record low of 4.2%. And since 2016, 156,000 new jobs have been created. No other government has created that many jobs. Our national debt as a percentage of GDP is the lowest in 30 years. Just over a decade ago, it was the highest level in our history. All three major rating agencies, Standard & Poor's, Moody's, and Fitch, have upgraded their ratings to the highest levels in our history. 2 weeks ago, Fitch stated that robust fiscal management has contributed to a turnaround in creditworthiness following the 2013 distressed debt exchange that Fitch considered a default. Fitch went on to say that this represents the third largest decline in debt burden among all rated sovereigns over this period. Only Ireland and Iceland experienced a larger decline. There is no developing country that has achieved our rate of debt burden reduction over the last decade than what Jamaica has done. Jamaica is viewed as a shining star in this regard. Madam Speaker, there is an additional statistic not often spoken about, but which fills me with great optimism for the future. For the last fiscal year, 2022-2023, Jamaica recorded a balance of payments surplus on our current account of US $352.4 million. The last time that Jamaica had a current account surplus was in 1966. What this means is that for the first time since 1966, our exports plus net remittances exceeded imports. This is a good sign that we are heading in a sustainable direction of increasing exports relative to imports. For the period January to October 2023, Statin reported a 16.9% increase compared to 2022. So we're continuing the growth in our balance of payment. We have created a stable and robust macroeconomic environment of fiscal certainty, which supports employment and income generation, capital investment, and increased economic activity. This has allowed my administration, the Andrew Holness-led administration, to present 9 consecutive budgets with no net new taxes. More than that, my administration has actively reduced the tax burden on the people of the country. My administration has actively reduced the tax burden on the people of the country. In the 2016-2017 budget, we announced an increase in the income tax threshold from $592,800 to $1,272,000 effective July 1, 2016, and from $1,272,000 to $1.5 million effective April 1, 2017. We did that. That's the largest ever reduction in the tax burden, right across the board. In the 2019-2020 budget, we increased the turnover threshold required for registration to pay general consumption tax. And we did that, we increased from $3 million to $10 million. Significant relief. We reduced the rate of transfer tax on property from 5% to 2% and replaced the ad valorem stamp duty with a flat rate of $5,000 per document. You think we did done? We increased the minimum estate value on which transfer tax is levied on a deceased person's estate from $100,000 to $10 million. We abolished the asset tax payable by non-financial institutions. We abolished the minimum business tax of $60,000 per annum. In the 2020 to 2021 budget, we reduced GCT from 16.5% to 15%. A massive reduction.
Facts.
We reduced the rate of asset tax on financial institutions from 0.25% to 0.125%. In 2020-21 to the 2022 budget, we removed the custom administration fee, the CAF, on export declarations with an export value of less than $500. And in this budget, we have again increased the income tax threshold from 1.5 million to 1.7 million and increased the pension relief and age relief from $80,000 each to $250,000. We also increased the de minimis value of imported goods for custom purposes from US $50 to US $100 and the duty-free allowance for inbound passengers from $500 to $1,000 US. For a long time, in this country, the population approached the budget season with dread and trepidation, wondering what additional taxes the government is going to impose on them. Madam Speaker, we have completely changed that. Now we are approaching a budget. The question is being asked, what goodies the government is going to announce? That is a massive change. There is no fear of the budget. The budget is filled with great expectations. This is a profound change. Workers, families, small businesses, investors can plan their affairs and think long-term without worrying that the government will impose some random tax to mash up their plans. Government is no longer a burden on the people of Jamaica. It puzzles. It is a puzzle to the opposition how a government can eliminate some taxes completely, relieve a significant number of persons from paying taxes, reduce the tax rate itself, and still have more tax revenue collected. It's a mystery to them, Madam Speaker, a mystery. They don't understand it.
They don't understand it.
So I understand when they come and say, you know,
they've never done it.
They have now resorted to spreading an outright lie. That the government has increased taxes in order to explain what they don't understand, or are too ashamed to admit that their government has never been able to do this.